On the news, National Broadcasting Commission revokes licenses of over 50 media stations. Striking university lecturers demand payment of 6-month salary backlog. And terrorists release 4 more Abuja Kaduna train attack victims. Well, many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogorinde. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has revoked the broadcast licenses of Silverbird TV, AIT, Raypower FM, Rhythm FM and other stations. NBC Director General Balarabe Shehu said the Commission revoked the licenses of the stations over failure to renew their broadcast licenses. Shehu said a 2-week waiver was given to them in May to renew their broadcast licenses, after which they risked the revocation of their broadcast licenses. The NBC DG further directed its state offices to liaise with security agencies to ensure the shutdown of the operation of these stations within the next 24 hours.
Kurada FM, Kurada Communication Limited, Abuja, FM Abuja. We FM, Kings Broadcasting Limited, FM Benin. Linksman International Limited, KEFI. Bome Broadcasting Services Limited, Abuja. Me TV or MITB, Muri International Group Limited, Ibadan. Classic FM, Pinked Nigeria Limited, Lagos. All broadcast stations who have not renewed their license for the current duration are advised to do so within the next 30 days to avoid sanction. The Commission also calls on all IPTV, Internet Protocol Television, and all other broadcast stations that are streaming online to register with the Commission to avoid disconnection. Broadcasters should note that having a DTT or FM licensed station does not warrant a broadcaster to stream online. They are two different things, and they are therefore requested to come and have, be registered with the Commission.
Terrorists who attacked a Kaduna-bound train on March 28 have released 4 more hostages in their custody. A member of the negotiating team, Tuka Mamo, told newsmen that the victims were released on Friday after spending over 4 months in captivity. Among the released hostages include an 85-year-old woman, Hajiya Halimatu Atta, and a 53-year-old daughter, Adama Aliyu. With the release of the 4 victims, 28 other passengers are still being held by the terrorists. Well, still on insecurity, President Muhammadu Buhari has implored security agencies to take the fight to terrorist hideouts and completely eliminate them. The president made the call at an event to commemorate World Humanitarian Day in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. Borno has been the epicenter of humanitarian crisis since the Boko Haram insurgency began. Buhari also commended the security operatives for their effort, asking that they should ensure security of farmers in order to secure the development of rural communities.
Let me use this medium to invite all relevant agencies to continue to provide support to the government's drive to stabilize the IDPs, care for victims of insurgency, as well as commitment to the ongoing processes concerning Boko Haram ISWAP members who are willing to surrender. As a government, we will continue to support those most in need. I therefore implore you not to relent in your efforts. Continue to take the fight to their hideouts and ensure they are completely eliminated. I also implore you to ensure adequate security for farmers in their farming activities.
As a strike action of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, enters its 7th month, The union has insisted on the payment of salary backlog to lecturers. Speaking in an interview, the ASU president, Emmanuel Osodeke, maintained that without the move, unfinished academic sessions should be forgotten. He further explained that though public varsities have been short since February, the lecturers should be paid since they have to teach to make up for time lost during the closure. Well, to speak more on this, legal expert Evans Ufeli joins me now. Thank you very much for joining us, Evans. Now, ASU has been on strike since February 14 to protest the non-implementation of its demands by the federal government. But from Nigeria's labor laws, is the union entitled to pay after downing tools for more than 6 months?
Yeah, it's not the labor laws of the country that regulates the conduct of ASUs and lecturers. It is rather the NUC Act, because the lecturers are not civil servants per se, based on our laws. They have a special arrangement which is very contractual, and they have a right under this law to demand for university revitalization, because if you look at what led to the strike, it is an agreement they entered with the federal government in 2009. And that agreement has lingered. The federal government have consistently violated it. So I think that it is not right for the federal government to say that the university lecturers will not be paid for the time when they were on strike, for the 6 months time, because their abstinence from classes and lectures was due to the fact that the federal government have not been able to look into their demands. And these demands are not even selfish or personal to them. These are demands that is far-reaching for the development of Nigerian university and to provide all the necessary facilities that is required to revamp our educational system so that we can produce, graduates that are good enough to compete with their colleagues all over the world. So it's not right. I mean, it is not the law. There's no law that says that when a group of people or workers engage in a strike action, then they will not be paid for that period. When this is a struggle for the revampment of the Nigerian university, a struggle for a new leaf, a positive development struggle for the betterment of the Nigerian universities. Okay, so the federal government will add insult to injury if they decide to say they are not going to pay the lecturers because they were on strike. What exactly led to the strike must be interrogated alongside the strike action itself. You cannot take the strike action in isolation of the circumstances that instigated it. And the federal government itself is highly culpable of this. So if the federal government is not going to run university, then they should let the lecturers know and shut all the universities down. But if they are going to run the university system, they must listen to these lecturers. They must yield to their demands. These demands are genuine. Okay, I know there are personal demands also, which has to do with the payment, USAP and all that. But the major issue that has to do with the agreement entered between the university and the federal government have not been addressed. So, I mean, you cannot tie this action around the labor laws of Nigeria. So it is in the best interest of the federal government to address this issue and then give the Nigerian university the required funding that we take it from where it is to the next level. That is what is required in this country.
Well, indeed, legal expert Evans Ufeli, thank you very much for your time and your contribution. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari says the public service remains the engine room of government and should attract the best and brightest that will fuel policies with fresh ideas. President Buhari made this known while interacting with the Central Working Committee of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria at the State House today in Abuja. The president also assured that the Orosanye White Paper report will be implemented after review.
The role of the importance and the importance of the civil service cannot be overemphasized. A strong civil service is the bedrock on which good governance, policy execution, and pathways for the delivery of democratic dividends can be achieved. The civil service must not be seen as a dumping ground for job seekers, but must attract the best and the highest who will contribute fresh ideas and a determination to solving our socio-economic problems. The review is about to be completed. While some may complain about the length of time it has taken thus far, but the outcome of the various review teams would lead to some fundamental changes in the structure of our civil service, and as such, it must be subjected to rigorous review and scrutiny before presentation and implementation. I have noted the requests in the address of the President of the Association, and I want to acknowledge your view on the urgent need for a general salary review in the federal public service based on the fast eroding purchasing power of the Naira because of worldwide problems of high inflation amid general economic disruption.
In his remarks, the president of the association, Tommy Okon, while commending President Buhari for ensuring access and inclusivity in governance, called for an increase in salaries of civil servants.
We commend you for these laudable policies, and as a father of nation, including in public service employees, we wish to employ you to grant these and other requests that will further endear you more to Nigerian workers. The core civil service, which is the engine room of government, is the least in terms of remuneration. The result of this is that employees in this segment of public service receive more than 7 times the remunerations of their counterpart in the core civil service. We believe that there should be equal pay for job of equal value, more so because we are dealing with employees that have the same educational qualification, accomplished experience on the job.
Yaba College of Technology, Yaba Tech, has unveiled a 50 billion naira endowment fund logo. The unveiling of the logo, which was held on Thursday in the Yaba Tech Hall in Lagos, is the first phase of the launching of the endowment fund, which will hold on the 15th of September. Giving his welcome address at the unveiling ceremony, the rector of Yaba Tech, Obafemi Omokungbe, said the endowment fund was conceived out of the desire to address the challenges of infrastructural deficit, obsolete and non-functional equipment confronting the college. He explained that the institution, having served the nation for 75 years, is suffering infrastructural decay, hence the need for the endowment fund, which will serve as a consistent and a permanent source of funding for the institution.
The government can no longer adequately fund education, hence the need for us to rise and rescue our college from collapse. At the inception of this current administration, and with the support of the Governing Council, we thought the time was right to have an endowment fund which will provide a consistent and permanent funding source to support students, to support departments, research, and programs.
50 billion naira endowment fund. The figure should not be frightening, which takes the form of cash donation, legacy projects to provide more classroom lectures, workshops, and laboratory, as well as books and scholarships with the intent to taking more of our youth off the streets.
We would like to pledge our support for the endowment fund. I will not be speaking to any figure in particular at this meeting. Like I said, this is an invitation to treat, and it will be taken as an invitation to treat. We'll go back and look at all the projects and decide where we want to start from in supporting this laudable initiative.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, federal government assures of no short-shelf doses of COVID-19 vaccines in Nigeria. Details of this story and more right after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. Terrorists were attacked a Kaduna-bound train on March the 28th and released 4 more hostages in their custody. A member of the negotiating team took on Mahmoud to newsmen that the victims were released on Friday after spending over 4 months in captivity. With the release of 4 victims, 28 other passengers are still being held by the terrorists. We also told you that the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has revoked the broadcast licenses of Silverbird TV, AIT, Raypower FM, Rhythm FM and other stations. NBC Director General Balarabe Shehu said the Commission revoked the licenses of the stations over failure to renew their broadcast licenses. When in case you miss any of our news bulletin, for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google+ at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are at TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 updates. The federal government says there are no short-shelf doses of COVID-19 vaccine donations in the country. The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Faisal Shoaib, made this known in Abuja at the official handover of about 2.6 million doses of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines donated to Nigeria by the Canadian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Jamie Krisoff. Shoaib said the vaccines were now promptly shipped and distributed through the COVAX and AVAX facilities to reduce the risk of expiration. New coronavirus cases reported globally dropped nearly a quarter in the last week, while deaths fell 6%, but were still higher in parts of Asia, according to a report on the pandemic by the World Health Organization. The UN Health Agency said there were 5.4 million new COVID-19 cases reported last week, a decline of 24% from the previous week, while infections fell everywhere in the world, including by nearly 40% in Africa and Europe and by a third in the Middle East. At a press briefing, WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said reported coronavirus deaths over the past month have surged 35%, and in that there had been 15,000 deaths in the past week. Well, we'll take a break here and return with more stories. To stay with us. Welcome back. Mary Canary is on standby to bring us up to speed on the latest, the world of business. Over to you, Mary.
Many thanks for Lashidi. Hello and welcome to Business News. With the launch of the e-Naira on October 25th, 2021, Nigeria became the first country in Africa to introduce a digital currency. Having achieved the first phase of the launch, which focused on banked users, the second phase, which borders around financial inclusion, is set for takeoff soon. To this end, the Central Bank of Nigeria says Nigerians can now conduct transactions using USSD code on any phone using a designated code. Our correspondent, Folashade Ogurinde, has the details in this next report.
The Central Bank of Nigeria appears to have changed its strategy in its quest to achieve financial inclusion with the e-Naira. At the grand finale of the e-Naira hackathon held at the International Conference Center in Abuja, the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, disclosed that Nigerians can now subscribe to the e-Naira digital currency using short codes. He explained that transacting on the e-Naira platform is now as simple as dialing *997 from a phone.
By next week, Nigerians, both banked and unbanked, will be able to open an e-Naira wallet and conduct transactions from their mobile phones. Shortly after this, both merchants and consumers with bank accounts can use the NIBS Instant Payment NIP to transfer and receive e-Naira to any bank account of their choice.
With the launch of the e-Naira on October 25, 2021, Nigeria became the first country in Africa to introduce a digital currency. Given the progress report, the CBN governor said presently the e-Naira has recorded volume and value of transactions above 200,000 and 4 billion naira respectively.
Since the launch of this great initiative, the e-Naira has attained 840,000 downloads with about 270,000 active wallets, comprising over 252,000 consumer wallets and 17,000 merchant wallets. In addition, volume and value of transactions on the platform have been remarkable, reaching above 200,000 and 4 billion naira respectively.
But experts are not happy with this number. They say the huge number of Nigeria's unbanked population pales in comparison to the volume and value of transactions recorded so far.
The number that's a bit low, right? 840 is the actual downloads, of which about 240, 200,000 is really active that are being used per se. So that's very low for a population like Nigeria that has a very fintech savvy young population. It just shows you lots of folks are not really downloading this e-Naira thing.
These shaky starts notwithstanding, experts believe that the e-Naira holds enormous potential and prospects if the CBN can sell the idea to Nigerians.
Everyone in the informal economy right now that has a phone, farmers, shoemakers, artisanal workers that have a phone can transact. If someone watches your car, you can pay him from your phone to his phone. He doesn't have to have a bank account, right? Because the NIL stuff is pretty mild and we don't know who it is. So that's going to be a big boost to consumption, to tracking, to seeing what you spend money on. You can then get credit. So if I can show you, if I'm a shoemaker and I can show you my e-Naira transaction to say, hey, this is how I'm spending money to buy supply, it's either going to get a small business loan because I have proof now. Before I was spending cash, now I'm spending like digital Naira that has a record. So I can actually approach it back.
With the first phase of the launch focused on banked users and the second phase targeted around financial inclusion, the CBN has raised its fresh targets of e-Naira users to 8 million. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
We'll take a break now and be back with a review of the stock market. It is a deeper fall on the all-share index of the NGX as the close of trade today. Value sees 0.35% is shut off as the 50,000 mark is looking farther than what we used to have. 49,370 basis point is what we have at the close of trading. Looking at the activity chart, it's all red as today's data shows 10% decline in volume, 39% decline in turnover and 4% decline in deals. Now this brings out the bear as 102 NGX listed equities participated in trading, ending with 13 gainers and 16 losers, with University Press, PLC and Industrial and Medical Gases Nigeria recording 99 kobo losses to top the losers chart. Now billions of naira were lost on the floor of the NGX in the week's trade on the back of Nigeria's dwindling economy, with inflation rising to nearly a 2-decade high. With the coming weeks, investors can only look forward to better trading days. Now the story is no different with global stocks, as the bear is also showing off in the US and Asia as rising treasury yields have kept investors nervous about a gloomy economic outlook as stocks drifted lower on Friday. That's the stock market report. Folashade, back to you.
Many thanks, Mary, for that update. And on the foreign scene, in commemoration of the World Humanitarian Day, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, has expressed gratitude to humanitarians across the globe. Delivering his message to mark the celebration, the UN boss called for more support from individuals and society. According to him, the number of people who need humanitarian assistance has never been higher, owing to conflicts, climate change and COVID-19, which have led to poverty, hunger and unprecedented levels of displacement.
There is a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to support people living through a humanitarian crisis. This village includes affected people who are always first to respond when disasters strike. Neighbors helping neighbors. It includes a global community pulling together to support them as they recover and rebuild. And it includes hundreds of thousands of individual humanitarians, volunteers and professionals alike, delivering healthcare and education, food and water, shelter and protection, help and hope. Far from the spotlight and out of the headlines, humanitarians work around the clock to make our world a better place. Against incredible odds, often at great personal risk, there is suffering in some of the most dangerous circumstances imaginable. Today, the number of people who need humanitarian assistance has never been higher because of conflicts, climate change, COVID-19, poverty, hunger, and unprecedented levels of displacement. On this year's World Humanitarian Day, we celebrate humanitarians everywhere. We salute their dedication and courage and pay tribute to those who lost their lives in pursuit of this noble cause. They represent the best of humanity.
Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Motion Pictures comedy movie The Ras Guy has premiered on Netflix over a year after its theatrical release. Directed by Udoka Oyeka, The Ras Guy tells the story of an obnoxious senior executive who loses his ability to speak proper English after a curse is placed on him. He must therefore find a way to lift the curse ahead of a crucial business merger deal. The movie stars Lasisi Elenu in his debut lead role as Temi alongside Buchi Franklin, Brother Shaggy, Norbert Young, Tinamba, Ireti Doyle, Yamisholade, Nancy Isime, and many others. The comedy movie premiered on March 14 and was released across cinemas on March 19, 2021. Actress Tonto Dike has disclosed that she will not be returning to Nollywood after the governorship elections in Rivers State. The actress announced this following her emergence as the deputy governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) for the 2023 elections. Speaking to BBC News Pidgin, the mother of one added that although she has not been on screen in a long while, she will not be returning to acting even if her party loses the governorship election. Tonto, however, promised to contribute to the development of the industry. And that's it on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment and now to sports, the Nigerian Football Federation has fixed September 30th as a date for the NFF Elective Congress 2022. The NFF approved the date at the NFF Executive Committee meeting held in Lagos. In a statement by the NFF spokesperson Ademola Olajire on Friday, the body also approved the suspension of the provisions of the NFF statutes and the NFF Electoral Code. I need to wrap on our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogorinde. Bye for now.